Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to Talking Town. It's Sunday, it's 1 p.m. We're live, and we want to hear from you all at home. Please do get involved. There'll be a link that will drop at some point for you to come on the show and have your say. It's a jam-packed show today. Absolutely rammed with content. We have got obviously Man City's match yesterday. We've got a Shea signing, Jack Clarke signing. We've got a Sunderland fan joining us, Daniel, a bit later on in the show. Absolutely jam-packed. We want to hear from you, so please do get active in our live chat. If you're watching on Catch Up, FTA, comment for that algorithm. And don't forget, we are partnered with Match Bingo. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. You download the app on your app store. Wherever you get your apps, you can find Match Bingo. And each time you play, you are also helping to support the crucial work of the East Anglian Air Ambulance. They've got a great little deal at the moment. All Premier League games for August are buy 3 cards, get 2 free. And bingos for the new season is buy 2 cards, get 1 card free. So that's Match Bingo. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. Over 18s only. Be gamble aware. Rob says, Clarke and O'Shea on the house. Just need another number 9 now. Welcome in, Phil. Hope you're well. Daryl's sort of talking about Leif Davis in the chat in regards to his performance yesterday afternoon. Says Rob Holmes, the social media handling of Muric is farcical. He made a mistake. Granted, we need to be getting behind him going forward into the Fulham game, not slating him. Great comment, Rob. Absolutely great comment. Want to hear from you. Whatever your opinion this afternoon, please do get active. Joining me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend, the blue tick himself, Matthew Phillips.
The blue tick.
The blue tick himself.
For bloody 18 months, I think.
I know. No one's noticed. That's how much of an impact you made on the Twitter sphere that nobody has noticed.
I don't need that. That's a headache I don't need in my life. Thank you.
Absolutely. Look, we've got a jam-packed show, right? So we're going to jump straight in with Man City yesterday. Let's start with the fans, because I thought our away fans, as always, they always are, but I thought yesterday particularly, Matt, they were absolutely outstanding from minute 1 to minute 95.
Yeah, you could hear them all on the live feed, couldn't you? It was a bit hairy getting up there, wasn't it? I think there was traffic jams and things. I know AD Croucher was messaging me on Facebook, get worried about whether or not they'd make it on time, but I'm glad they all did. Well, good job they did, because we scored early doors. Don't want to be missing that moment, do you? I mean, that was the moment, wasn't it? As I said in that short video I did, that was kind of, you know, to take the lead, to have that moment in the Etihad was kind of makes, I don't know, all the journeys, League One, Championship, to the home of, you know, as I said on the video, probably arguably one of the best club side in the world. So to take the lead was brilliant. But yeah, you could hear them on the live feed. It was brilliant.
They were great. They were really good, really loud, really, really good. And we had a moment as a football club, you know, inside 8 minutes. You called it. You won some money on it because you backed yourself. So congratulations on that. For those that didn't see the Wednesday show, Matt had a premonition. A dream that Schmodix would score the first goal inside 8 and then we'd get beat 4-1. And he backed himself. So I don't know if I say well done or not, because that means we lost. But we did lose. But inside 8 minutes, let's start there. Schmodix, we launched a counter-attack, won the ball edge of our 18-yard box, and then very quickly moved it from back to front. And Schmodix took his goal really well. How did you see that period?
I mean, it was a brilliant moment, as we say. Great for the fans. Great for fans watching all over the globe, wherever you might be. And I think that, see, now I've not been that impressed with Johnson moving forward, but he actually gets the assist, doesn't he? Because he takes the ball inside from Amari, and they'd said they'd worked on that pattern of play, hadn't they? And you watched the Schmodix run, which starts in the centre circle, and he's too quick for that Rico Lewis in terms of pace and speed of thought. And then he's got the one-on-one, and that is why they've brought him in. And you know, as much as I love Connor Chaplin, I think Connor Chaplin will score us goals this season. I don't think he scores that kind of goal. Very rarely would you see Connor one-on-one, I think, like that to score, which is what Schmodix does, and why he was so successful at Blackburn. And the fact that they'd worked that as a pattern of play on the training ground this week is what they revealed on in the after-match interviews. Brilliant. To think that you can go to the home of the champ, you know, the 4 in a row champions, as they said, with that big flag on the pitch at the Etihad before the game started, as a team that's gone back to back and actually have a pattern of play that not only breaks through Manchester City but puts you one up. So that's brilliant. So when, you know, I mean, look, we got done in the end, but the fact that we've got that kind of expertise, that kind of coaching knowledge at McKenna, and I think Schmodix gave a shout out to Lee Grant on that one as well. really sets us up nicely for the rest of the season. And, you know, Guardiola was waxing lyrical about town, wasn't he? They've got something special. As someone said to me, it's very easy to say that when you just done us 4-1. But I mean, look, he doesn't have to say that. And we gave him a bloody nose. I mean, they go on and win the game, but we did take the lead.
We did.
You think back to some clubs that have gone up there. I think Chelsea have been done 6 up there in recent seasons. Certainly Arsenal was beaten 5-0 there, 3 years ago? So we certainly, you know, certainly, and even some Champions League sides have been done 5 or 6 there. So we done well. It was good. And to have that moment was brilliant.
Yeah, we started the game, you know, like I say, really, you know, like you say, sorry, really well. And I said on my post-match reaction that went on social media, TikTok, etc., that Man City are levels above. You know, they're a quality team. They can play the game at half the tempo than they do play. They really are something special, and that obviously stems from the manager being a world-class manager, world-class players. But that move from our perspective, really positive, great finish from Sammy. And you're right about the run. I'm trying to think back. Have I seen, you know, Chaplin make that very similar run? And I'm hesitant to compare the two because I think they're slightly different in how they approach the position. And I'm a big kind of Chaplin fan. But I think you're right. You know, that run from Sammy, such intelligence, keeps himself onside, which is obviously the most important thing after making that run. And Johnson's ball to him. Beautiful pass.
It really was.
You know, all Sammy's got to do is settle himself and fire, and he does. And then, of course, it took an absolute age to roll over that line.
I thought it was going to go wide. I thought it was going to go wide of the post.
I think I aged about 10 years watching that ball in super slow motion just trickle, but it did. It was a great finish and a great start, and something we can obviously take away from the game, and something you've seen that we've worked on in game. It happened, you know, and those are positive moments, I think, Matt, that, you know, particularly, you know, when you got beat 4-1, you can see things you've worked on that have worked, and you're going to understand the situation of the game, which was it's Man City, it's a world-class team, and you know the manner of how we conceded. We'll also have to talk about that. Let's start with with Leaf. First of all, the penalty given against him, and then I want your thoughts on VAR seemingly sort of nodding off, because for me that's a stonewall penalty. I don't know how it's not given.
I agree.
Whereas Man City's, it probably is a penalty, but is it clear and obvious? If you're watching it 8 times, 10 times, 20 times, if I can make a sandwich, a cup of tea, and then come back and you're still not decided, is it clear and obvious?
Yeah, no, I get that. That is the debate, isn't it? I mean, look, as soon as he goes over to look at the TV screen, he was the sub ref, wasn't he? Because we've had him in the Championship. Yeah, the main referee must have got injured in the warm up or something, because he got relegated to the 4th official, I believe. So that guy, but yes, as soon as they go over to that small screen, and it's like 99.99%. I mean, it was such minimal contact, but I do remember thinking in real time, if he's touched him there, that's going to be a pen. I'm feeling a bit sorry for Leaf, because he's been exposed in the first 2 games, and people are like now saying, the fickleness of fans. He's got the Championship assist record on one side of the coin, on the other, everyone's going, is he good enough to be a Premier League defender? Well, we've not actually judged him against Premier League players yet, because you've actually been 2 weeks back to back against Champions League players. These are Champions League sides, aren't they? I mean, that's Savinho's 20 million out of Troyes in France, having played for Girona in Spain last season. And then and what was his baptism of fire last week? Salah in his pocket, right? So, I mean, I'm feeling sorry for Leaf, and when we've said it, he's exposed there a little bit as the left back, I think, because he's coming up against world-class elite wingers. So I think we can start maybe judging him next week against Fulham. But then he's got that Traore, who's an absolute speed merchant. Yeah. So, I mean, it
doesn't get easier.
It don't get any easier for Leaf. So it was a pen. It wasn't the greatest of tackles, but again, the speed of thought, the speed of mind that someone like Savinho brings in the attacking third. And Leaf got caught out. But I mean, look at his trajectory. He's gone from League One player with us straight into against Champions League players. I mean, it's a baptism of fire for the club. The 2 games back to back, and it's a baptism of fire for him, right? And it was a stonewaller down the other end. I mean, why did they not even look at that one? I mean, did they decide that wasn't clear and obvious? Therefore, they wanted to go with the on-field decision. I know Howard Webb had said that they were looking to do that more and often this season, but I mean, you've got Lewis one side. Actually, it's Savinho again, isn't it? It actually takes Davis out.
Yep.
Doesn't get the ball, and the contact is on his hip. So I didn't get that. I'd love to see that explained. I mean, whether or not Sky Sports will do that over the course of the week when they look back on games with Dermot Gallagher, whoever it might be.
We got Ref Watch tomorrow, haven't you? Live on Sky.
Yes, I'd be interested
or
to
on
see.
Sky.
Did they think he was going down already? Don't know. But I mean, look, certainly you sent me that message. Martin Keown was going, how have they not given that? I think Paul Merson said the same on Sky, and I think various pundits thought that. The only people that are mad was the referee and the VAR officials. They didn't give it, did they? For whatever reason, I don't know. I think
both were penalties. And you can't dive in. And Lee's got to learn there, obviously, there, particularly where we are on the pitch. Just showing down that line, he's going towards the byline, just shepherd him out, as it were. But he will learn from that, and this is what these first two games have been, and what I said last night on my reaction, what the whole season will be. It will be a whole season of learning points, of learning curves, of ups and downs. But absolutely stonewall on him. I completely and utterly agree with you there, and
I think
I'm looking for.
I was going to say, sorry, mate. I was going to say for Lee. I mean, if you, so the jury's a little bit out on him at the moment, because of these challenges, right? And he
Not for me.
Yeah, okay. But some people have said that to me. But then you think about someone who else has played in that position for Town was Aaron Cresswell. Would you say Leaf is better than Aaron Cresswell?
I said it about 3 games into signing him. It'd be better. It'll be a better defender or a better player than Aaron Cresswell.
Yeah. And I looked up today. He's had like 295, 300 Premier League appearances for West Ham. So he's gone on and had a very good career in the Premier League. And I would agree with you. I'd argue that Leaf, certainly getting forward, Leaf is better. And hopefully he'll come good in that defensive third as well. But, let's not judge him after 2 games against teams that won the Champions League, right? Let's see how he gets on against you, Fulham. The games that we're looking at, where do we pick the points up, as you've rightly said? Southampton away, Fulham next week. Brighton in September, blah blah.
Maybe
not Brighton. That's
not Brighton. Had a great win yesterday at Man United, who defended Man United, by the way, just as a side note, sort of as junior teams defended that second goal. They've all flocked to the ball and not sorted themselves out. But Brighton looking really good.
Got done in Fergie time, didn't they?
Done in Fergie time. You're right. But we shouldn't judge Davis or anybody on these first 2. I mean, Davis is not playing against anybody. It's not just another guy that's walked onto the pitch with his boots and said, "I'm playing the game today." These are quality, world-class players. And it goes for that throughout the whole team. And so you absolutely got to take the positives out of it, which is what we're going to try and do today.
Would you have started knowing that we were going to spend most of the game? And it's a question for everyone to put in the comments as well. Knowing that we were probably going to be on the back foot for most of the game, and chances on the counter would have been few and far between, albeit we did score from one. The irony of that. Would you have started Townsend as more of a traditional left back there?
No,
having played Premier League football, no,
not at all. Because then you lose a bit of what your identity is in terms of going forward, and that's what Leaf brings. Obviously, set piece Paris. We didn't get many set pieces yesterday at all to obviously see it, and you just got to look. We all wanted to take something out the first 2 games. Of course, we did. We're Town fans. We're riding that wave. But we are exactly where we probably all expected ourselves to be. 0 points, having been beaten by Liverpool and Man City. And the manner of defeat yesterday, in terms of that 5 minutes of mayhem, we'll call it, obviously stings a little bit, because you feel like, we lost the game. We gave them some layups, as they call it in basketball. And you can't do that against Man City or anybody in the Premier League, particularly Erling Haaland, De Bruyne, and co. You can't give them what we gave them. And obviously Muric is being mentioned in the chat. He's been mentioned on social media. This goalkeeper, Matt, will be a big player for us this year. Huge player for us. It didn't start the way he wanted it to start, but he will learn from it. He'll move on from it, and he'll be a big player for us this year. Obviously, the first goal particularly, and the second one, really. I mean, obviously, a bit of rash of blood coming out. But that's what he is, a sweeper keeper. We want him to do that. We loved it when he first signed and he's on the halfway line. Well, with that comes risk. That's the way it is. So, how did you see those 2 goals particularly?
When we done the Muric signing show, we said, look, this is going to be a roller coaster with him. He's going to make mistakes. Unfortunately, they happened on his debut. I mean, I certainly think he was probably for someone who's such a big unit and such a huge, awe-inspiring presence. Obviously, the butterflies were in the stomach, because as soon as we kicked off, and the ball went straight back to him, didn't it? He kicked it straight to the City player in their half. So
I pinged you just straight away, didn't I? Saying he started nervous.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. Look, let's support him and not, it's not giving condemnation. He needs our support, as someone rightly said in
or
the
call
comments.
for him to be dropped straight away. I've seen comments, Walton. I mean, this is it's for me. It's not. It's nonsense.
If you're going to be chopping and changing the side every time someone makes a mistake in the Premier League, you're never going to have any.
You'll be Ranieri by the end of it. You'll be called the Tinker Man. You'll be shuffling the pack constantly. I agree.
You'll have no consistency. I mean, so the second goal then. So he gets the back pass from Greaves. He probably didn't want that ball because he had 3 players bearing down on him. He's got Savinho there, he's got De Bruyne there, he's got Haaland there. Really, I mean, this is not the Ipswich way, but really, you should be trying to get rid of that ball as quickly as possible, I think, and then just try and reset. And of course, Savinho forces him into the mistake. It's not a great touch. He then falls to the floor, and then De Bruyne's there, and we find ourselves 2-1 down. Yeah, I mean, it's not the McKenna way to Rose edit. That's what I'm calling a long clearance, but maybe we should have done that.
I think when they sit down, Matt, I think when they sit down, that will be the main learning point from it. When they sit down, review the game tape together, when Rennie Gilmartin sits down with the keepers, when McKenna sits down with the squad, you got to get it gone. Yeah. I mean, we want to play out from the back. That's our philosophy. That's who we are. That's our DNA, if you like. But if you look it back, if you freeze frame it, he's literally got nowhere to go. Man City, as we said before, world-class team. And guess what? World-class players know how to press. And they've pressed that incident there. Absolutely sublime. Probably better press than we've seen, under McKenna. Obviously, just comes to the Premier League. He's got nowhere to go. And I think he receives that pass, and you can almost read his brain. He looks, he scans, he's got nothing. And before you know it, the ball's away from his foot and away you go.
I don't think he even wanted the ball. He probably didn't want the ball in that position. Like you say, you freeze frame it behind the goal and you've got those 3 players there, De Bruyne, Haaland, Savinho, bearing down on him. So it does lend itself to getting the ball away. But we don't know what the instructions are in the dressing room. Does McKenna say to them, I can forgive the mistakes? I really don't know. But it's certainly lent. I mean, I remember thinking to myself, just get it gone, boot it. But
well, we know he really values bravery from his goalkeepers. We had it several times last year with Clarke, played a tight pass into the area, and McKenna's on the sidelines applauding it. He wants those brave moments to happen because that's what he wants to do. Yes, that's how you beat the press. That's how you come away. It's how we did it last year. But Clarke also had a couple of mistakes last year. Watford springs to mind, for example. You have to just take it in isolation. And I said to you straight away, I'd rather he did it today than 0-0 against Fulham. Or whatever. You don't want it at any point, of course you don't. But you have to take it in isolation. Made a great save in the second half. And the Haaland goal, he's taken it well, first and foremost. He's Erling Haaland. He is, literally what you want in a striker. If you could design one, he's what like you want. He's like AI. Intelligence. I didn't realise just how good he was from highlights. Like watched him yesterday. I don't know how you mark him.
As I said to you this morning before we did the show, in another dimension, in an alternate reality, because he was born in Leeds, he's playing for England, and Kane's been nowhere near the England squad for about 4 years now.
Yeah,
could you imagine?
It'd be so good, wouldn't it? But he's such a good player, and it's a great finish. Keeper's caught a bit of no man's land because he's a sweeper keeper, so he's a bit late, perhaps. I've not watched it back, and it happens. You flash the game tape and you move on, as they say in American football. It's one of those.
He's made a decision there. If you actually freeze frame that one, I mean, it's a ball over the top, isn't it? Because we're playing the high line of the defence. Yeah, I feel like Wolfie's the wrong side of Haaland. He's behind him and to the left. And it's Greaves that actually comes across. And the fact that Haaland actually the first touch has to be that header, I actually think Greaves would have pushed him out wider, which probably meant Muric didn't have to make the decision of coming out. But of course, he's got to make a decision in a split second. And he obviously felt that, he's off his line pretty quick, isn't he? I mean, because we're not in the stadium, we're only got the TV view. Who knows what his starting position was, but you've got to win that. And I think probably if he had that time again, he'd think to himself, if I stayed on the line, Greaves probably would have stopped him on that left side of the box. And they'd have been looking, and I think Leaf had Savinho covered in the middle of the box if they'd made that run in now. So there we go. It was madness, wasn't it? 3 goals in 4 minutes, and the game was... The game was gone.
The game was gone. Yeah, obviously, with Leaf's decision, was that at 2-1? I believe it was. That could have made it 2-2. I'm not saying the result would have been much different. I'm just saying, football's about moments.
3-1. It was the
3-1.
3-1.
It's still 3-2. About moments. It wouldn't mean
Against
any different,
himself.
but
Yeah, if we got, yeah, you just never know. I mean, all these things like Muric should be looking back on and thinking, "I wish I hadn't done that." I mean, I felt so sorry for him. We're Ipswich Town fans, therefore we're going to support him through thick and thin, and he would have wanted the world to the ground to swallow him up. But it's human nature, isn't it, to concentrate on the mistakes. What a save in the second half! I mean, show me a better save in the Premier League or English football, even European football yesterday. I mean, it was a phenomenal save. But of course, it's human nature to think of the errors. But I mean, it shows you he's got a really good mindset, I think, to be able to pick himself up after, he's probably felt like he's humiliated himself, he's embarrassed himself, he's lost us the game in all intents and purposes because he's made the wrong decisions. But then to still have that kind of, belief in yourself, it was a great save. Really good.
Yeah, really good save. Mike D says Muric will come good, have to support him. David Brown, think Richards will have to be set to keep up in Premier League. It's going to be hard to finish in top half. Don't think Richards have enough experience. Premier League players think it could be a struggle, says David Brown. Loving the comments coming in today, guys. Keep them coming. I'll try and get through as many as I possibly can. There will be a link, but we've got Jack Clarke to cover. We've got a Sunderland fan joining us in approximately 5 or so minutes, to give us the lowdown on Jack Clarke, what sort of player we can look forward to seeing at Portman Road. Now it's been confirmed. Dara O'Shea's been confirmed today. We're covering that more in detail tomorrow. Matt's going to sit down with Chris Hall at 2 p.m. to get Chris's thoughts. Obviously, Dara played at West Brom, so do join us there as well. But there will be a live link, so you can come on and have your say about Dara O'Shea, Jack Clarke, Man City, whatever it might be. I am expecting quite a few people. I might be wrong. So there might be a little bit of a timer in place just to keep things moving, just to keep people on and give everyone the opportunity to have their say. So if you do come on and there is a timer, obviously, please try and stick to it.
Countdown.
Yeah, absolutely. Just try and keep things moving along, because I want to try and get through as many as I can, if there is as many as there possibly could be. Yeah. But moving back to the game before we go to Jack Clarke, which I'm absolutely buzzing about, I want to talk about Delap. So I just love Delap. Every time I watch him play, I fall further in love with him. Absolutely quality. How did you see his performance yesterday?
Well, I think he done well in a game where we didn't have much attacking threat, if you see what I mean. I mean, certainly you saw that kind of bullish nature that he's got and the physical presence he brings. I mean, no one knows more about that now than Kovacic, because he takes him out on the touchline, doesn't he? And then he goes down again, Kovacic, and he has to come off. So it was very noticeable in pre-season that Harps here says Delap, absolute beast. It was very noticeable in pre-season that he's got a real presence about him. I mean, I've said before, he's got legs like a WWE wrestler. He's giving you the hard yards, but again, it was difficult for him yesterday, wasn't it? I mean, there was little moments, wasn't there? Like I think there was a really nice passage of play where we broke through in the second half, and I think Mari was free on the left-hand side. And again, the pass wasn't quite good enough. And they're just the little things that have let us down in these big occasions, I think, where, those chances come few and far between, don't they? When you've actually on the edge of Manchester City's goal, or Liverpool's goal, whoever it is. And the pass has to be perfect in order to fashion the chance from it. And that kind of let us down yesterday. But yeah, he gives you, he's not like, he's got a presence like Chef Kikuchi, isn't he? I mean, he kind of reminds me of that in his build. We can judge him more, I think, against like a Fulham or a Southampton. It's difficult for him, I think.
Yeah, but I'm not judging him necessarily by his goals. I think he will get goals, but in the McKenna's system, the striker, you don't judge that by the goals. And Mike D says with Delap, the ball sticks, huge drop off when Al Hamidi comes on. Hopefully, we can get a deal done for the striker.
One's worth 15 mil. What did we pay? What did we pay for Al Hamidi?
Well, this is it, yeah. So,
same with George Hurst, right? 1.5 striker, 15 million striker. I mean, Delap should be head and shoulders, right?
This is it, and I want to focus on what Mike D says there about the ball sticking, because that's the key with Delap. He really holds the ball up well. He's big, he's strong, he's powerful, and it sticks to him, and he brings other players into the game. And we've got some delightful options now behind him. Jack Clarke now a Town player. Chaplin, Schmodix, Hutchinson, Burns when he's back fit. So just some delightful players that Delap can really start to link up with. And I was so impressed with him yesterday because it was a hard game for him up there. At times a bit isolated, but he did so well. He held it up. He was strong. And I'm looking forward to seeing what season he has at Town, because it's only going to get better, I feel.
I think that performance probably shows you why he was at Manchester City in the first place. You know what I mean? And why we've decided to buy him. Like we've said, it's very difficult. That strike. So you've got to have someone, like we've seen it with Hurst, haven't we? That kind of the pressing, the non-stop running. I mean, Hurst never, ever does 90 minutes, does he? And you can see why they've gone for Delap. So it'll be very interesting. Now we know that Brozier is 50-50 or less, or not happening at all. Don't know what the latest is on that one now. Typical, isn't it? We do a really good show about him. No, he's not going.
We do a great show. I get the pronunciation nailed.
Yeah.
And he's not coming.
Oh, well, what can we do? Certainly it feels like had Brozier come along, then he would have been more of a natural goal scorer than what probably Hurst and Delap are. Be interested to see who we now go for, because we do need someone else. As Mike said rightly there, you bring on Al Hamady and the drop-off is noticeable. Not Al Hamady's fault. He's gone from League Two to the Premier League. That's how good he is. But again,
he's a player on his development. He's still
exactly. So you can't hold it against him, can you? But that'd be very interesting there. And of course, I think Delap gives you that other option of actually you'd be able to play whoever the new number 9 will be. He gives you that option to play in the channel as well on the right hand side, because he's done that for Hull. So imagine that as well. Imagine him bearing down you on the wing and cutting in and linking up with someone like a Brozier who also brings physicality. We'll see who they go for. I mean, hopefully they can get someone in. I think that's imperative that they do. I'm a bit worried about that now, because we thought Brozier was done deal. Spent a lot of time on it.
I think it's Brozier, by the way. Just to pull you off on that, I think it's Brozier, but it doesn't. I don't think it matters.
It don't matter,
does much more, does it? Disappointing. But yeah, I mean, I still, as I said on TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, if you are on TikTok, rather go and follow us. I think I said I'd still check in to see Ioannidis personally.
Well, he was number 1, wasn't he? I mean, they went very early with a bid for him, didn't they? In fact, 2 bids. He's still at Panathinaikos. He's still there. I think they've gone out of Europe, actually. So maybe, I mean, look, that's sometimes how things work out, isn't it? You go back to plan A and it happens. Yeah, it's similar money to though. It's similar money. The only problem they've got now is, like, we've done what, 100 million now with Dara O'Shea and Jack Clarke taking us there or thereabouts, closing in on that. How much more money is left in the pot? Because even that, and he got me thinking about how I was saying now. I'm going to carry on saying Brozier because that's how Southampton said it. The Brozier deal, there was no real money until next summer, was there? So have we actually now got the funds? Because if it was a 30 million deal, then that was going to be, there was no wages involved. Chelsea were going to pick that up. No. A 30 million deal was the carrot if we stay up, and that was mandatory if we stay up. So we didn't have to pay that till June, or how it will be timed out. But if you're going to buy Ioannidis, you're going to have to put some money on the table. It'd be interesting to know how much is left.
This is it. I mean, the fact it's not off just gives me a gut feeling there's stuff that they're going to work out, and it could be one of the other sides just have got something they're not particularly happy with, or they want to include, or whatever it could be.
Well, Talksport alluded to it being something in his medical, wasn't it? Did they pick up like an Achilles thing or something? I mean,
but it's not off, is it? It's not off. Like, we've not seen reports saying, it's not. Do you know what I mean? Well, it's not like with Kayusta, for example, to Brentford, whatever went on there. Yeah, that was like, officially off. I've certainly not seen it yet, where it says officially off, which lends me to think gut feeling, no ITK, no concrete stuff, just my gut feeling as a fan to another fan or fan to fans. They feel like they can work it out.
I hope so.
And it might be that, and I don't, this is going to be our most expensive signing if it arrives next season, £30 million. I'm really, I really like that Ashton's doing his due diligence. He's really, not sort of rushing in, as it were, not saying, okay, he's great, let's just go and get him regardless of whatever, because this is going to be a big signing for Town if he arrives and Town stay up, and you've got that obligation. So, what will be just a gut feeling, and I could be wrong. I often am.
I hope so. He looks really good. I mean, look, we spoke to Martin from Southampton, didn't we? Was it Friday? If you've not seen that show, you can watch it back on YouTube if you want to.
Many have, Matt, and many have said great show. So well done. Yeah. Well done.
Oh, cheers. Well, that's great. I mean, I was excited that he was coming. Just the attributes that he brings, and his highlight reel. I mean, he's got. And Martin said he's great on one-on-ones. He's great in front of a goal. He can mix it up in the box, outside. Again, can play in the channel if need be. So he's ticking all the boxes. It would just be a bit of a gut if he didn't come. But we'll see, eh? We'll see.
Absolutely. Great comments coming in. James Hobson, 15 million. Felt like a lot. Starting to feel like great value. Ryan says individual mistakes happen, must move on. Only negative is we have let in goals in flurries. Liverpool 2 and 5, City 3 and 3. Also Leeds twice last season. Rob says, bro, your issue was medical. Apparently they're trying to negotiate the terms. He was injured with Chelsea, still not dead in the water. See, that's what I mean. Just that gut feeling where, and I can't blame Ashton. Like, if you spot something, you think you can get a better deal out of this.
Yeah,
do
we've
it.
signed injured players before, haven't we? Kamara was one. Actually, I think Al Hamidi was one. Really, I mean, he was managing that abdomen injury, I think, wasn't he? That he's had the surgery on.
Yeah,
but I mean, 30 mil was big wedge at the end of the day, isn't it, for Town? Come on.
Well, that's the thing. We've got Daniel coming in just a second. Sorry, Daniel, keep you waiting. But we're getting to that point now as Town fans where we're almost a bit numb to it. Like, 4 months ago, if I'd said to you, Town are going to sign a player for 25 million, 30 million, 15 million, you'd have really felt it. Like, oh, wow, that's a lot of money. Now it's like, yeah.
We've done 100 mil. What did Luton spend last season? 25 million?
Crazy. It's crazy. It's just how easy you can go, well, it's going to be 30 million next year, and not blink. Just not even think.
It becomes monopoly money.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's like fantasy football.
I was going to say, it's like football manager for you, this, isn't it?
It's fucking great. I'm absolutely in love with it. Excuse my language. I'm really sorry. But anyway, half time. If you dig the channel, please like, subscribe. We have got some great content next week. We're live tomorrow. We're live on Tuesday, live on Wednesday, live on Thursday. It's an everyday affair at Talking Town. So if you like the channel, hit the like button. And don't forget, we are partnered with SolarWise Roofing and Building Service Limited. Roofing services, solar panels, UBVC roofline, groundwork services. Please give Shane a call on 01206 628 544 or visit SolarWise Roofing and Building.co.uk for roofing services, UPVC roofline, groundwork services, and solar panels. That's a one take, Matt. That took me about 8 takes.
You've done what you did the other day. Yeah, time was pressing, wasn't it? You've had a history in roofing, so this is kind of your thing, isn't it?
I was a finance for a roofing company. I've got a history. No one called me up to fix their roof because
you've been on the tools before. I wouldn't like that. I'm not good at heights.
I laboured for one day. You've
still done it.
A couple of days. Look, if you've got a roofing issue, call Shane at SolarWise because
don't call mine. Yeah,
don't call me. I wouldn't know a ridge tile from a roof tile. I think they're probably the same thing actually. But there you go. I've just proved my own point. Anyway, moving on. We've got Daniel joining us. He is from Speak Sunderland because Jack Clarke is officially a Town player announced last night by Ipswich Town FC. Yes. Daniel, welcome in. How you doing?
I'm very, very good, thank you. How are you guys?
Well, we're ecstatic, Dan, because we've got Jack Clarke.
Sorry.
It's fine. We've got Romain Mundo now, so it's all good. It's all good. Okay. We've got Jack Clarke and Banter.
I doubt it, Dan, but you can keep dreaming. But Jack Clarke, 23, obviously a left winger. Some great stats last year in the Championship. 4 assists, 15 goals, I think it was from memory, looking at SofaScore last night. Just what sort of player is Jack Clarke? What can Town fans get excited about?
If you asked me Friday, I would be giving you a different answer. But because of what happened yesterday, I'll give you the honest answer. No, Jack Clarke is one of the best left wingers we've had since probably 2005, 2004. He's a player that has a very similar style of football to Jack Grealish. He's someone who can pick the ball up in the defensive third and drive it past 11 players on a pitch and take it up and score in the bottom right corner or top right or top left. He can hit the ball into the back of the net. He makes things happen. He does things that you don't realize a footballer can do, and you don't expect it from him either. He's not the strongest person, but he knows how to use his body. He will just drive that ball up. He'll get past difficult spaces where you've got 3 or 4 players surrounding him and find a way to beat them all, go past and then take on the next 2. And if he's not hacked down, 9 times out of 10, he's either getting an assist or a goal. He was quiet in League One. That was sort of his start of his career. Obviously scored the very gave the assist to Patrick Roberts against Sheffield Wednesday, which got us to Wembley. And then Championship, he did things we didn't know he could do. He stepped up to the plate, 21 years old, never really played at this level of football, and he just took it by the grip of his shirt and just said, this is me, I'm Jack Clarke, and this is what I could have done for Leeds before I went to Tottenham. This is what I could have done for Tottenham. And unfortunately he fell through the ranks of the academy system and a couple of poor loans. But that's what we're about at Sunderland. We take players who maybe had promising careers and then have sort of lost their way a little bit. We give them the confidence and the freedom to show who they are. And you see it with Jack Clarke, who's probably the first real success of our new model, is that we take a player who was nothing and turned him into basically a £20 million player. He's one that you guys can. I mean, you saw it against Ipswich Portman Road last year, where he scored that volley from the edge of the box. Unfortunately, he went on to win that game, but that's just the sort of things he can do. He can create magic, and he just gets you up off your feet as well. He's not like overly skillful. He's just very fast, very quick, and really tidy with his feet. Can twist and turn, and his trademark is sort of Iron Robin, but on the left-hand side, cut in on the right-hand side and whip it into the far right corner. So you guys for 15 million or maybe 20 million, depending on the add-ons, it is a steal. It really is a steal.
I was going to say, do you feel like we've got him too cheap, Dan? What would you have put down the figure?
It's a really difficult. I mean, in the championship, money is very valuable because everyone's sort of a level playing field, and it's only the relegated teams with the parachute payments that can compete. So money's money. So we're talking a few million. That probably I would say different. I would probably hope 25 plus a few add-ons, just because of how important he was for us. But at the same time, you've got a player who's still on probably under £20,000 a week. Who's got 2 years left on his contract and knows he's the best player on the team, or knew he was the best player on the team. This season's slightly different because we're not as one man team anymore. Regis Libri has created a team that can attack on all angles. But last year, if we didn't have Jack Clarke, we probably would have been relegated. He was that much of a difference maker, especially with our fall off at the end of the season. He genuinely, if you pulled him out of the team, and there was a few times where that happened, we didn't have anything. We had nothing. All our attack went down the left because it was essentially give the ball to Jack Clarke and let him just create magic. So I would have probably said earlier in the window, before anything in the leagues had happened, I would want 25 million plus add-ons. The more I've seen the team over the past 3 games, and the more you understand, as much as it pains me, the logical side of things, that he does have 2 years on his contract. We can't compete with Premier League wages either, and he's a player that really deserves the chance to prove himself at the top level. He's done it for us for 2 seasons, and his attitude is absolutely spot on. He could have thrown and pushed the toys out the pram. He could have not turned up to training. He could have not performed on a match day. He could have just said, I'm done here. I want the Premier League move, but he didn't. He came across that we didn't even know that he was going to go. We thought there's a chance he stays because he just applied himself and he just had that mentality that he will do anything for the team he's at. Because he really appreciates the time and trust that they put into him to create this player. And then he went on Friday, unfortunately. And before the match on Saturday, came and said goodbye to all the players and the managers and some of the fans as well. So you're not just getting a fantastic footballer, you're getting a real, true gentleman of football. A really, really nice person, a nice attitude, a nice mentality, and a fantastic player. He deserves to be at the best. So as much as it pains me, I do hope he has an absolutely outstanding season for you guys, and can replicate his championship form, because if he does, you'll have one of the best players, best wingers in the league.
One thing I was going to say, Mike, one of the things I noticed was he seems to take a lot of free kicks and took you penalties as well. And as you know, mine, we've not been great on penalties, have we, at Ipswich? So I mean, that's an interesting dynamic he brings to the table for me.
Well, maybe not free kicks. Penalties, definitely. Penalties, he can take a penalty. He's not great at corners and he's not great at free kicks. That's probably his only downfalls. Okay. I don't think he scored from a free kick at all. Corners were hit and miss. Either it hit the first man or it was almost good. But Jack Clarke was never. We found that Jack Clarke was best off being the second man to a corner, so the one who came short, so he could dribble it either to the edge of box, get a shot off, or like you saw against Sheffield Wednesday, he took the ball to the edge of the box and passed it across, or he'll just drive it into the box and take it either. Well, he can go left foot or right foot. He takes it down to the channel and cuts it back, or he takes it right foot and shoots it and whips it to his corner.
Is he 2-footed? He seems predominantly right-footed to me on that left side and then cutting inside.
It's something he's worked on his game. He was very one-footed, and that was probably one of the downfalls to Jack Clarke. Is if he showed him on the left, it wouldn't be effective. But he's definitely worked on it a lot in the past 2-3 years, where he can now take it on his left comfortably. And his trademark is either, like I said, cut inside and whip it right foot, or take it to the byline and cut it back on his left. But he does that. I don't know where he gets that burst of pace from. He just stops and he goes, and you can't catch him.
Daniel, I've got a question in the chat here from Mike D. What's his work rate like off the ball?
He is a workhorse. He grafts for the team. He puts everything into the team. Sometimes we think he's playing left back because he comes that far up the pitch, wins the ball back, chases down everything. He presses high. He presses deep. You've got Leif Davis. Him and Jack Clarke will be an outstanding partnership on the left-hand side. He had so much success with Dennis Erkin because of that reason, because you let Dennis Erkin drop back and Jack Clarke picked up sort of that left wing-back role when we were defending. And then he'd win the ball back, or we'd win the ball back, give it to Jack Clarke, and he takes it 45, 50 yards up the pitch in a couple of seconds, 0 to 100 in probably 2 seconds. He genuinely, you don't find many people with the attitude, with the application, with the mentality that Jack Clarke has. He's just got a pretty face. He fiddles around with his hairband a lot, and he likes to work on his celebrations. But take away from that, he is probably, if there's a player for young people to look up to who are maybe coming through the academy, or even slightly younger and want a role model, Jack Clarke is that person.
Excellent. Daniel, I really value your time. Matt, have you got anything else you'd like to ask Daniel before we let him go on his Sunday?
I mean, obviously, sort of traditionally, Dan, another Sunderland player that came to Ipswich, Broadhead, has played in that role for us, but has been kind of injury prone. Is Clarke injury prone? Has he had any issues on that front?
No, we had Nathan Broadhead. That was another sad one that went to Ipswich last second. We thought he was coming to Sunderland, but Jack Clarke, he was out the beginning of last season for about 8 weeks, and that's his only injury in 2.5 years. And we saw the complete difference between a team with Jack Clarke in and a team with Jack Clarke out. Maybe that was down to having Mike Dodds and Michael Beale at the helm, because that was a disaster. But we saw from raw natural talent of what the squad could do and what they couldn't do when Jack Clarke was in and out of it. It was a great disparity. So he's not injury prone. He'll put everything into the pitch. He'll give you constant 7.5s, 8 out of 10s. Well, he did in the Championship. Obviously, the Premier League's a step above. But if he can, it may take a couple of games for him to break into the team and get used to things. Don't just write him off straight away. But once he's got that confidence behind him and he knows he can beat that fullback, he'll do it 100 times a game. Excellent.
Daniel, really value your insight. Eric Wee says here, thanks, Daniel, for your insight. Can't wait to watch JC in action. Honestly, Daniel, I really appreciate it. And have a great season at Sunderland.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, like I said, we got Romain Mundle now, who's the better Jack Clarke. So I would have been sad had he not scored yesterday, but he scored. So enjoy Jack Clarke. He genuinely will be one of, if you don't like him as a player, you'll love him as a person. He's one of those people that you just can't hate.
Excellent. Brilliant. Daniel, appreciate it. Look after yourself.
Thank you very much.
All right. See you later. Thank you. And you. That was Daniel from Speak Sunderland. We've got some great comments coming in. I'll get your thoughts in a second, Matt. We've got Phil and Colin waiting to come in and have their say. But first of all, James Sargent fits our model being a solid, down-to-earth individual. David Brown. I think he means Schmolix. I think Schmolix and Jack Clarke are very good signings. You can see them both scoring for Town. Kevin Moore, a Sunderland fan. I can confirm you've signed an excellent player with beautiful balance, and his attitude is excellent. I'm happy he went to a real club with real fans. Say that. Cheers, Kev. Appreciate it. Welcome in. Hit the subscribe button. Alex Still sounds like it will fit right in. Can't wait to see him get started. Harps, such a great signing. Absolutely thrilled, but Clarke has a questionable Has he?
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah, he has got a moustache, or the beginnings of one. Yeah, I noticed
Nothing wrong
this.
with it. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You know, nothing wrong with that. And he likes his hair. I'm a man that likes my hair.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Me and Jack Clarke could be best mates. Be really good. I've got a great fear to be a good signing for
you
us.
can
This
both
one.
put the ball on a sixpence.
I don't think about that, mate. I mean, no. But look, what are your thoughts on the side? Because I've wanted the player all summer. I think he's a fantastic player. Every time I've seen him play, he's literally lit it up. I watched him play against Wednesday only last week. Absolutely outstanding. I was thinking then, why have we not gone in for Jack Clarke? Such a quality player that deserves that step up, that is ready for that step up. I can't put into words how happy and excited I am. So thank you very much, Mr. Ashton, Game Changer. What are your thoughts, Matt? He called you Mark. I don't know why.
Ashton, hi.
I know you for 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, look, he was one that we would discuss with Rich on the show regularly, wasn't he? When it came round to transfer windows, could we put in a bid for Jack Clarke? And now it's transpired that we've got him. Yeah, really exciting. I mean, in the highlight reel I was watching, I was thinking, it's interesting that Dan said this, because I remember thinking, he's got a little bit of with the hair and the close ball control and the cutting inside, he has got a bit of a Jack Grealish vibe to him. So it's interesting that Dan said that as well.
No pressure.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, he certainly likes to be on the ball. Like I say, the highlight reel I saw, even though Dan rightly says he doesn't actually score, he's over the free kicks and he's shooting from distance. Certainly he can take a penalty, which, I mean, Al Hamidi was our penalty taker right at the end of the season, wasn't he, last season? Do you remember? So it's good that maybe he can come in and he can pick up that mantle maybe. So certainly with VAR, if we ever get a pen from it, could be critical that we obviously score it. So that's really good. I hope he gets minutes against Wimbledon this week, just to maybe bed him into the side. I mean, we'll probably come to this in a bit, but so you imagine Phillips and Cahoose might get minutes as well. So it'd be nice to see if he could go in there. I mean, we've been crying out for that left-sided play with Broadhead not starting the season, and now we've got it. And it also now frees up Amari to go over to the right, doesn't it, and take the Wes Burns role, which, as much as I thought Johnson did well yesterday, I'm not really convinced of him in the attacking third, although he did put in a couple of good crosses and got the assist. So that does sound a bit ludicrous, but I think he's more comfortable being a fullback, if you see what I mean. The traditional kind of fullback.
It gives you options, right? It gives you flexibility. It gives you options. Gives you different ways you can hurt teams. And Jack Clarke's a little bit of a different question to the team than to the opposition. Sorry, that we've got now in terms of on that left hand side.
Great signing,
it's an absolute great signing. Yeah, really, really exciting. Kev's Hansen. He said he loved every minute at Sunderland, so I'm really excited. Really looking forward to Jack Clarke linking with Schmodix and Phillips will be exciting. Yeah. Hamish Clarke was Townsend one left winger target. We put off early in the summer by the price. Price has come down. You love to see it. We've got Colin, Phil, and Frank all waiting. As I said earlier, there'll be a timer. Please don't get upset if you're taken off, because I just want to try and get everybody on to have their say. So come on, have your say. And I really want to hear what you're going to say about your football clubs. It's such an exciting time, but I am conscious of the time and I don't want to make it into a Bible length program.
War and Peace.
It could turn into like War and Peace or something. It could just literally be hours. So let's try and do this. Let's run through it. We'll start with Phil because he was first to click that link. We love you, Phil. Welcome onto the show. How you doing?
I'm feeling fantastic. I must say, I've had a nice day out yesterday. Going to all these brand new grounds. Man City, I can tick off my list. I'm going off to Wimbledon on Wednesday. I'm going to Brighton, so I'm looking forward to these two games coming up, and I'm looking forward to the Southampton game when the tickets get released for that too. But yesterday, just talking about the incidents on the field of play. Yes, the Davis one was a penalty on, was it Silvino? I think it was. Was it the other player, Fabio? We definitely should have had a penalty up the other end, but Matchday didn't show it. Bit annoyed about that. It was a contrasting setup to what we had yesterday from last week, because McKenna played 5 at the back yesterday and went defence. And for more than half an hour, 30-40 minutes of that game, we kept them at bay. They couldn't really break us down in defence, which was really pleasing to see. And all the town fans were in fine voice, fine form, and the atmosphere of Man City, those fans, they just don't sing. They don't really sing when their team's winning. And if it hadn't been for those, I'd say 2 mistakes, Muric made, I'm saying he's going to learn, and he'll need to learn quickly. But, yesterday I enjoyed the game. feeling a bit deflated that we conceded the fourth, because I actually predicted the 3-1 score for Man City before the game. Colin can testify for that because he asked me from the coach. But yeah, I mean, say, look, two games baptism of fire. I think our season will start on Wednesday, and then again against Fulham, the following weekend. So yeah, looking forward to those two games.
And your thoughts on Jack Clarke and O'Shea?
Wonderful. I'm gonna say our team for this season, with the players that we're bringing in this summer transfer window, is really shaping up to look good. I'm gonna say you look at the front 6 or 7 players now. Phillips and that Kayuste and Morsey, possibly as a midfield 3, with Mari on the right, Clarke on the left. We've still got a number 9 to come in. And we've now signed another centre half in O'Shea, but we can expect maybe 2 or 3 faces to go out, maybe on loan or to leave the club permanently this summer, because I think we've now got more than 25 players. It was great to see Cam Humphreys score that wonderful goal.
Yeah, man of the match as well.
Yeah, man, match yesterday. So, look, the future's bright for Town over the next 2 or 3 seasons. We've got some cracking players at the club now, and I'm just looking forward to the rest of the season.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, we've really had a great window. We've achieved so much in the window, Phil. And you won the likes one last thing, and I know you probably got one for me today. So what's your one last thing, Phil?
I don't really have one last thing. I'm so content right now. It's like I don't need to get anything off my chest. It's like I'm just going along for the journey, and I'm saying the 2 grounds that I really want to get to this season. I guess that last one more thing is Spurs and Liverpool. I've not been to Anfield before, not been to the new Spurs stadium. So those 2 grounds are definitely going to tick off on my list. I've nearly got 25 points, just one or 2 more games to get. Let's hope we get a result against Wimbledon, and that's pretty much it.
Excellent, Phil. We appreciate you coming on the platform. It's always a pleasure to talk football with you. Look after yourself, and I'll see you after Fulham, right?
Hopefully, yes.
Good man. All the best, Phil. Thanks ever so much. Phil Blundell there. Some great comments. It is a good time to be a Town fan. You've got to be content with how this window's gone, Matt. And he mentioned Tottenham's ground there. I'm going to Tottenham this year. I'm going. Yeah.
You're going? You're going?
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, in October for the Bears game.
I thought you were going to say that. Yeah. I've not been to the new one. I've been to White Hart Lane several times previously. But yeah, I mean, look, what is it now? 11 signings. And if we do get another 9 in, that'd be 12
I think
signings. Don't forget, a lot of people were moaning about the window not that long ago. How weren't they? And then we suddenly had this, it's like a conveyor belt generation game of players coming through. And, we can be really excited about Jack Clarke, and Chris will give us an insight into Dara O'Shea.
Yeah, that's tomorrow, 2 p.m. Don't forget, we've got Colin joining us now. Colin made the trip. He had 6 rolls with him. Colin, how was your trip, my man?
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Absolutely fantastic to go up to a stadium like the Etihad. And there's lots of redevelopment going on there as we speak.
New tier, isn't there, being added on?
Yeah, it's me another tier up the other end. Yeah, they're building a hotel as well. And the hotel will be literally 50 yards, 100 yards closer to the ground at Sunderland. And that's saying something. I opened my curtains at Sunderland and, I won a goal kick away, and Man City's even closer. So when we stay up, not if, but when we stay up this season, I'm booking into that hotel next year. I'm booking into that little hotel. And I'll possibly take Venetia and she can do a bit of shopping in Manchester.
You must have been on Cloud 9, Colin. Sorry, you must have been on Cloud 9 when the way Town started the game.
Do you know what, Mark? Mark, what am I saying? Do you know what, Gov?
Do you know, I'm often called Mark. Do you know that? That's a sign. I'm often called Mark. I am generally called.
Probably not speaking to Mark Rattle so much yesterday. What was I saying? Yeah. Sorry, Gov. I feel really relaxed. I really do. It's a funny thing to say after a 4-1 defeat, but you have to be so positive, in what's going on at the club. And again, I'll reiterate what I said before. Thank you ever so much. I'm not going to go on and on about it, but thank you ever so much to those owners because, they put their money where their mouths are. Mark Aston's done a fantastic job at this football club, as has Kieran, obviously. And I won't go on about it, but just to say thank you again, because they're putting us. I mean, look, we're sitting at the moment, Gov, Matt and Matt. We're sitting at the moment with 0 points. But I actually feel relaxed and comfortable. But what we must remember, and I hope a lot of people hear this and listen to this, what we must remember, and I do 100% agree with Kieran in his post-match interview yesterday, don't start thinking it's going to be easy after yesterday. It's going to be possibly easier to a certain extent. But when you look at who we've got next Saturday, and the first thing I would say to everybody is that fantastic, tremendous atmosphere we have for Liverpool. And I'm sure it is going to happen. Let's make sure, as from next Saturday, we keep that going for the whole, not just for Fulham, not just for the next home game, Villa or whatever it is, Villa after that. Let's make sure we keep that going for the whole season. And I can't remember who said it. Somebody said it on Sky before the season, just before the Liverpool game, that Portman Road, I think it might have been Don Goodman said something about it. He said about how it was at the back end of last season, how the atmosphere was, and you could kind of cut it with a knife. And it's got to remain like that, because let's not start going to grounds. Let's not start going to Portman Road thinking that, just because we're playing Fulham or Villa or Brentford or whatever, that it's going to be, we've got to get right behind them, and that will be worth another goal to us. And that extra goal will probably be the difference between, say, a 1-1 or a 2-1 win. And yeah, please just do it for me, do it for Gov, do it for Matt, do it for Rich, do it for everybody who loves this football club. Just keep behind the boys, because I'll tell you what, some of these signings we're making, it's making me feel so happy. I mean, like that Darragh O'Shea, I mean, we can keep waxing lyrical about Jack Clarke, and I'm a great fan of his. That goal he scored last year, I arguably think it was the best goal scored against us at Portman Road last season. It was immense. I'm up with Bobby, as you know, Gov and Matt. And when that hit the back of the net, honestly, that was like a Ted Phillips strike. It was a good job that those nets were secure, because somebody had got very, very severely injured in the lower tier of Bobby. I'll tell you, that lad is absolutely quality. Richards, Matt, Gov, you've all said it. I've said it. I'll tell you, he is, and that Daniel made such good comments there. He goes left, he goes right. He's got a finish on him. He's got a shot that's 70, 80 mile an hour. He backtracks. He's got everything really. And to be fair, I was quite sad for him in a lot of ways, because he was a great player at Leeds. He went to Tottenham, it didn't really work out, and he went to Sunderland, obviously, and he's had a couple of years up there. But I'm really, really glad for him, as I am for Sammy Smoditz. But I was just going to get on to Darragh O'Shea. I watched
very quickly,
him.
Collins. I want to bring Frank in a second.
Yeah,
very quickly, mate.
Sorry, Gavin.
That's all right.
I saw him against Luton on Sky a couple of weeks ago, and he is a quality defender. He knows how to defend, and he also, like Greaves, he knows how to get up in the other box as well. Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you very much, Kieran. Two magnificent signings, and I'll tell you what, let's make that atmosphere, like I say, an absolute cauldron next Saturday. Get those first 3 points on the board, and I'll tell you, I think we're up and running. I really believe that we'll be fine, And also, lastly, very lastly, just thank you to that Al Pacini who came on the chat today, a Man City fan. He put some lovely, lovely words out there about us, about our great support yesterday, about how we didn't park the bus. We went up there and had a little bit of a go. yeah, I applaud you for that, Alfacini. Great words. Thank you.
Why don't you say that, Colin? Because before I let you go, Alfacini does say you'll be welcome in the hotel anytime. You're always welcome. The only person who's not is Eric Ten Hag. Excellent. Colin, we love you. We appreciate it. All the best.
Colin. All the best.
Got a question for you, Matt, before we bring Frank in. Oh, well, I say question for you. I say you because I'm going to ask you as opposed to you asking me. But it says, Mike D says, anyone think Mass and Morsey got completely swamped yesterday? Looking forward to seeing what Phillips and Coyce can add to our midfield. How did you see Mass and Morsey?
Yeah, he did.
By the way, Massimo's got a great interview. When he talks about Premier League debut, etc. Go and check it out on your social or YouTube. But it's good.
They did get swamped yesterday. It was like the bloody Alamo. That's why. I mean, certainly we had better shape in the second half, didn't we? And there was more composure of playing the ball out. But yeah, we just got caught up in that moment, didn't we? The 3 goals in the 4 minutes. But yeah, I mean, look, you see when we go 3-1 down, I think Morsey and Luongo actually gather everyone together. All the fans in the stadium probably would have seen this better than what we saw on the TV. It certainly looked like they just had a moment to try and chill everybody out a little bit. But it'll be very interesting. It's a shame Phillips couldn't play yesterday. It would have been very interesting to see, someone with international tournament experience and top flight Premier League experience, how they might have just, maybe steadied the ship or brought more of a calming presence in there. I thought Mass and Morsey did it excellent yesterday. I mean, look, even Morsey was a little bit rattled. I mean, he got his token yellow. That was 2-1 to get booked yesterday, by the way. I thought that was very generous.
Yeah. It was a deserved yellow. It was a bit. It was in the
D as well, wasn't it? Rarely would you see him sort of lunging like that, but I
wouldn't say rattled though. No, I thought Morsey had an outstanding game, really outstanding.
They did well under extreme pressure, I think, because it was back to the wall, wasn't it? But certainly the second half, I think the second half benefited from McKenna team talk, keeping their shape, passing was better. And let's not forget, they were consolidating Man City. The points was in the bag already. So they didn't really have to, really work. And in the end, they got the fourth right at the end, didn't they? Good finish that, by the way, by Haaland.
Yeah, really good finish. But I thought Morsey was great yesterday. I thought Mass and Morsey, they did their best. They got, I think Mike D's right. They got.
What was we expecting? Yeah, what else would you want from them? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Be interesting to see Phillips and Coos come in at some point and see how they might be different to Mass and Morsey. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and what we've got now in our midfield is quality and depth, and should we get an injury, you've got players now that can step up, can step in, that are quality players. Whatever two you play, be it Morsey and Karius, Morsey and Phillips, Karius and Phillips, whatever it might be that ends up being the two. And I don't think for a second Morsey won't be a part of that. By the way, you've got that depth. Should you get an injury or suspension? And by the way, if you do get an injury or you're living life in pain, don't forget Stowmarket Osteopaths 01449 613 633. That's Stowmarket Osteopaths 01449 613 633. Don't live life in pain. Give Freddie a call. Details are over that side of the screen. I always get the left and rights mixed up. But you see a little segue there, Matt? You see how I sort of twisted that in? Do you know what I mean?
It's by your professional.
It's like a foxtrot or a tango. You've got to lead yourself around the dance floor. That was quality. Anyway, on to what Frank's going to say. Frank, welcome in, my man. You've got now your time to have your say. So, what's your views this afternoon?
Yeah, Frank.
Firstly, I'm very sorry to hear Rich has been removed from the channel because of persistent swearing. I think that's sad. The crunch. And moving on.
Whoa! Hold up. Let's just address that now. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Okay. I swear like a trooper.
Hey, look at this. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got a ticket thanks to Andy Molnar for the game next week against Fulham Saturday. So again, he's very kindly volunteered. I'll pay him for it gladly, but he's because he lives in Boston, Massachusetts, so he can't get to the game. So he's very kindly given it to me. So unfortunately, Rung, she's in a nursing home now. It's very, very sad. I see her twice a day. I don't want to harp on about it. I know it's a football-related program, but it's just not possible. She can't move around very freely. She's still engaged in a happy sort of way and likes to hear about you guys and everything. And I'll let her see that video. So
sending best wishes, Frank. From everybody.
And you're right. It's a football show, but we are a community. That's the big thing about Talking Town. We're a community. So we're with you. And if you need anything, you've got my email. All right. But
cheers. Moving on to the football, I think I think we can hold our heads up high after yesterday's performance. Yeah, we were always going to lose. It was sort of written in the script that Erling Haaland would score 3 goals, a hat trick, because he scored so many. And once you saw he was playing, you thought, well, he has to be on the team goal scoring list, and scoring 3. Well, no shock there. I think what surprised me was taking that lead. Now let's look at Muric for a second. Aaron Muric. Do you think that if it had been Ladke, would he have? He might have made the same mistake, but would he have recovered from it? Because there were a few incidents last season where Ladke was had made a mistake like that, but he made amazing saves because of his agility. Now Muric is a big, tall guy, 6'5" or what have you, but he isn't particularly agile. He made a great save in the second half that might have partly redeemed him, but
it was based on his agility.
Yeah, well, no, he didn't. He's just tall, and he just went like that. I mean, he wasn't. If you look at that in slow motion, I'm sorry. If you look at that in slow motion, it's a goal that it's a save a lot of keepers would have made. It looked spectacular because of the power of the header, but I'm not totally convinced about him. I'm sorry to say. He might convince me otherwise during the course of the season, and I'm definitely not convinced about Armando Broja, and I don't want him to come. So I'm really delighted this deal is not going through. In my opinion, I'm being very, very frank on football. On Ipswich, especially. And
that's what it's about, right? About opinions. But I have to be honest with you, Frank. Every time I see the lap player, I do think of you. I do, because every time I see him play, I'm like, what on earth has Frank seen that I'm clearly not seeing to not rate this player? So I'm always leaning, Frank, and I'll be honest with you. If you don't like Broja, I'll go and drive Broja here. Based on what I've seen from Delat.
Give you the benefit of the doubt there. Every time I watch Liam Delat now, I think of you, and I think, yeah. So it's a two-way channel of mental communication, for want of a better way of describing it. And I have to say, one aspect that I've argued that he could have made a better rugby player than a footballer applied again yesterday. He knocked 2 or 3 City players out for short spells, all elbows and physical aggression. But I did see signs of improvement. The football naivety is still there. His passing, there was another opportunity missed when he poorly passed through to somebody. But I think he will grow with the club in time. And you may be right, and you may be both right, that during the course of the season, he will prove me wrong. And if he can do anything near to what George Hurst did it was the Championship, then I'd be satisfied with that. I don't think he's going to score a lot of goals, but he will improve with time. I think the new assignments, the new signatures on the town team sheets in the future are good ones. Calvin Phillips, I think, is excellent. Dara O'Shea, I think, is a good signing too. And I also like Jens Kajuster. Because if you see some videos of him, he's a really silky footballer. He reminds me, actually, because I'm a lot older than you, he reminds me of an Arnold Muren as he glides past defenders with consummate ease. I think he's going to be really good for town once he gets up and running. And I think he's fairly fit. He could go into the team. Now, I think what McKenna thought yesterday was, let's not ruffle too many feathers by changing the team too much, because this is the ultimate stage, isn't it? The Etihad in front of 70,000 people. Should I throw Calvin Phillips in? Should I throw Justin? Probably not the right time. But I think we may see him against Fulham next week. I think we may see both of them, and maybe even O'Shea.
Excellent. You got anything else, Frank, before I let you go?
Quickly,
some good points there. Some points I don't agree with there. But,
I think you're probably both in disagreement on that one. But just to say that I'm really looking forward to next Saturday. I'm hoping to bump into you guys, and that swearing so-and-so Rich, maybe.
He'll be around somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, he's in the West Stand, same stand as me. I might bump into him in the stadium. No, nothing else to say. Great show, guys. Thanks for everything.
Excellent. Thanks ever so much, Frank. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Frank.
Frank there demonstrating the whole point of the platform, right? You click the link, you come on, and you have your say. It might not be a say that I agree with, or Matt agrees with, or many people agree with, but it's the point of the platform. Come on, have your say in your own words, and then we'll talk about it with you, and then also when you've gone. And I don't agree with his Muric opinion. I think Muric's got agility. I think I disagree with that.
vehemently
almost. But that's the point of the platform, right?
Don't be judging Muric against Champions League opposition after just 190 minutes. Let's see what the season brings. It's a good job we don't have that swearing protocol. Otherwise, this show wouldn't even be going the moments everyone's had. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, I've sworn twice already. It's only Sunday lunchtime.
Yeah, and it's only lunchtime.
I know.
Shame on you, Martin.
That's why I never made it working for a proper organisation. But it's probably true. Probably true. But no, I really like it when Frank comes on and has his say, because it's the whole point of the platform. So if you sat at home at any point through any of our shows and you want to come on, just click a link, come on, have your say, or debate somebody and say, you know what, I heard an opinion a second ago I don't agree with. That's
whether or not you agree with Frank or not, he's got conviction in what he's saying. So I mean, it makes for a good debating point from the bat, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what we're all about here. Entertaining, maybe a bit informative, but mostly just discussing our views, like you would down the pub. Which, by the way, it's probably you around by now, Phillips. When's the last time you bought around?
You did buy me a drink
that long ago.
That time, didn't you? I thought you've noted that down in your little book.
You're right. I've noted it down in my little book.
Yeah,
I'm notorious for when it's my round,
going missing,
escaping out of bathroom windows.
Yeah, where's he gone?
Where's he gone? Anyway, it's been a great show today. Really has. We're back live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Matt and Chris will give you the lowdown on Dara O'Shea. We're live Tuesday evening with the Wimbledon preview, live Wednesday with the match reaction for Wimbledon, live Thursday for the Fulham preview. It's a busy week. It's a busy week. And there's possibly still one more incoming.
It's got to be one more.
Another transfer show then. Don't forget, we are on social media: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Talking Town #ITFC. Nearly 1,000 followers on TikTok. Which I love to see. Thank you very much. And of course,
I've never been on TikTok ever.
No,
I'm glad to hear it.
It's great. It's great. And of course, you can carry on the conversation on our Discord. If you're a member, if you're not a member, just $4.99. Cancel at any time, but it's $4.99. Once you join up, you'll get a link, whether you join up through Ko-Fi or on YouTube. I say you get a link on YouTube, it'll be in the community tab. I won't send you one. It'll just be on the community tab. Josh says, TikTok's great, Matt. Get on it. I can't imagine you on TikTok, if I'm honest.
I thought it was where people did dances and stuff.
I think that's how it started. Certainly not anymore.
Just one element of it. Well,
I mean, you are on TikTok because your reaction from yesterday is on TikTok.
Oh,
so you are technically on TikTok.
Yeah.
Matt is on TikTok. But it's all right. You get some interesting stuff. You get some stuff that... There's a guy that does the miming that reminds me of you. Sent you last night.
Oh, yeah, what, the guy with the glasses? Yeah.
It's more than just the glasses, Matt, that reminds me of you.
Glasses. That's like Matt. Yeah.
It wasn't actually me who came up with it, but there's
I know who came up with it.
We're done and we're dusted. Like and subscribe for a great show. He's been Mr. Blue Tick himself, the media mogul Matt Phillips. I'm the Gov. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. for the Dara Show Transfer Special. Catch you later.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you.